network of Turner Broadcasting System.
Well, so far, so good, says Defense Secretary Cheney, as the coalition forces assess the damage of more than 1,000 sorties against Iraq. An American and a British plane lost. I'm Reed Collins in Washington.
And I'm Marianne Laughlin at CNN Center in Atlanta. Just a few moments ago, the last communication we may hear for a while from the Al Rashid Hotel in Baghdad. Our correspondents there were forced to stop transmitting. Here is what it sounded like just a few moments ago before the line went dead.
If I may, is take about a minute and walk across to the other side of the building, and there may be something going on over there that we need to talk about. Just a moment. Here we go. I'll walk across the hallway. We put a 100-foot extension cord on our microphone so that we can get from one side of our work area to another. And the biggest problem working by candlelight, Bob, is trying to get the cord disconnected. Peter, what do you see?
Well, we see a sole light in the sky, John, making an arc. It looks like a sort of a dive on Baghdad. It could be just a surveillance aircraft. It could be an airstrike. It seems to me it's probably surveillance. It is flying very high and very fast and towards us.
Well, Defense Secretary Dick Cheney announced a little earlier today that the next phase of the operation, I guess as he put it, was that there would be some surveillance, some intelligence gathering from the coalition side to see what else needed to be done, not only in Kuwait, but I guess also here in Baghdad. So we can only speculate. We can only hope that this is a surveillance plane that doesn't have any bombs in the bottom of the aircraft, and we'll continue to be here to provide you with what information we can. Peter, go.
We've been asked frequently during the day about our own safety, and I can assure our viewers and our families that we are pretty safe here. There's a strong hotel, but I think we are here because we feel the story is important to us, and that safety is an important factor, but what we are viewing is more important to us than we're about to turn off the lights here because
the thing that we saw outside has turned its lights off. That's what Nick Robertson was reporting. All right, we'll continue to look out the window. If you think it's good to blow out our one candle, we can do that. But for now, Bob, we'll stay here and keep you posted for as long as we can.
John and Peter, while we are on the topic briefly of your own personal safety, let us just inquire briefly about Bob Weiner and Chris Krizmanich and the rest of your staff there. Are they all well?
Yeah, I'm looking at Chris right this minute. Chris, come over here. Tell your folks how you're doing. Robert Weiner's down in the lobby of the hotel. He hasn't had enough sleep, but he never gets enough sleep. Chris Krizmanich, we've been trying to reach parents on the phone. We don't know whether we've gotten them, but what message do you have for them tonight?
Well, of course, tell them I love them, I miss them. I wish I were in Cleveland, Ohio at the moment, but we're doing fine. We have a lot of support from each other here. And Bob, hello, and I know you're thinking about me too, and I'm thinking about you.
There you go.
Thank
Sounds
you,
like
Chris.
the soldiers in Saudi Arabia, doesn't it? Right here from Baghdad. On the streets right now, we see some automobiles with their lights on going down the main drag of town. Everybody on our CNN crew and all the other reporters who are here, although there's only a handful, maybe 25 left, are all in good shape. They're in good shape. Just a minute, a man has come into the room, and he's Mr. Allah from the government. Mr. Allah, tell me what you want me to do, sir. I don't understand. You got to talk to me.
Well, John, Mr. Allah is making a gesture that requires us to cut off our communications. Is that right, Mr. Allah? Can you give us a reason for it, Mr. Allah, as to why we should close down now?
The duration of the PTT. What does that mean? What's the PTT? Personal distance telecommunications.
Are we required to do so at what time, Mr. Allah?
Robert Weiner has just come back up from after his series of negotiations. Robert, tell us what is happening. Tell us what the situation is.
John?
We unfortunately have been ordered to cease transmitting. It was an order given by the Ministry of Information. The reason for this order was military censorship. We have been told that we may no longer transmit live to our audience, and that in the future, taped reports will be subject to censorship. So that's, I don't know what to tell you, Bob Cainard and Bobby Batista and our viewers. This official, Mr. Allah, who's been a good friend to CNN for our time here, is now, demanding that we do something that we desperately don't want to do.
So, John, I will make the decision to cut the communications because I'm the senior man here. So for Bob Weiner and John Holloway and John Holloman and Bernie Shore and myself, Peter Arnett, who is signing off from Baghdad for CNN, and I hope we can resume our communication with you in the very near future.
For those of you in Atlanta and up and down the network, we'll try to get back in touch with you as soon as we can. Obviously, this is something that is just abhorrent to all of us in our journalism. We'll talk to you as soon as we can.
What you just heard happened at 10:59 Eastern Time. That was the last message we have received from the Al Rashid Hotel. Let's listen now to the line and what there is to hear at this hour from Baghdad. Military censorship has cut off our communications with our correspondents in Baghdad. We, of course, will do everything possible to reestablish a link with them. We're working on that now. Now to Washington and Reed Collins.
Well, it was about 3 in the morning Baghdad time that Allied air forces assaulted targets in Iraq and Kuwait, jet after jet, missile after missile, bombing the Baghdad area and others, making good on the UN's promise to try to force Iraq from Kuwait if it did not leave peacefully by midnight January 15th. Operation Desert Shield, now Operation Desert Storm, and there have been some losses. Over the past hour, pan-Arab military personnel briefed reporters in Saudi Arabia. A Saudi Arabian general said Allied forces destroyed the sources of artillery fire in Iraq. He said also no Iraqi missiles were ever fired against them. Here in Washington, U.S. President George Bush calls the first phase of the Gulf Offensive a success. In Moscow, a senior Soviet official says President Gorbachev has sent a message to the Iraqi President Saddam Hussein, appealing to him to announce an immediate pullback from Kuwait. In Baghdad, broadcasts of patriotic songs, Baghdad radio praising Iraq's elite presidential guard, welcoming what it calls the mother of all battles that will free oppressed Arabs. More now on the events thus far, and CNN's Don Miller.
From the Pentagon, a summation of the latest on Operation Desert Storm.
We've now flown over 1,000 air sorties in the first 14 hours of the operation. There have been over 100 T-LAMs, Tomahawk cruise missiles launched as well. So far, as of 0900 this morning, Washington time, there's been a single American aircraft lost and one British aircraft lost as well. At present, we are in the process of using our intelligence assets to assess the damage that has been achieved. As that process is completed, decisions will be made about going back to restrike those targets that require additional attention.
After 12 and almost a half hours of this campaign, I am very pleased that our initial objectives have been achieved. I am satisfied with the way the campaign is unfolding.
Full video from the USS Wisconsin shows the dramatic launch of a cruise missile, one of the many weapons in the Allied arsenal. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Colin Powell, assessed the cruise missile's performance this way.
Can you comment generally about cruise missiles? How effective were the Tomahawk cruise missiles?
I'm extremely pleased with the effectiveness of the cruise missiles.
But while the Pentagon's initial assessment of the Allied operation was positive, U.S. Defense Secretary Dick Cheney was quick to interject a strong note of caution.
This is a very serious business, that we are in the very early stages of an operation that may run for a considerable period of time. That there have been casualties, and there are likely to be more casualties. So while we feel very good about the progress to date, it is important, I think, for everyone to be careful about claiming victory or making assumptions about the ultimate cost of this operation in terms of casualties.
Saddam Hussein has delivered taped messages to Iraq via radio and television. The bottom line of his translated message, no backing down.
As long as the oppressors and the unjust continue.
We are interrupting now that report from Don Miller to go live now to Iraqi TV. We don't know if these are live pictures or if this looks like to be videotape on Iraqi television. President Saddam Hussein.
He is a traitor to the two holy mosques and the Arab nation. He and his likes will rot in hell. He is a criminal, treacherous and sly. God is with us, dear brothers. God Almighty, with the patient, steadfast, holy warriors. And their victory is assured, God willing. And with the increase of the combat and the steadfastness of the faithful, success will be written. And the presidents and the kings, the traitors, will be overthrown. The traitors who have swerved from the right path will be overthrown. After the will of evil in the White House and hegemony, American hegemony, comes to an end. The time is nigh when before the whole nation will rise to overthrow the thrones and the chairs of those politicians who have betrayed their nation, and to get rid of those after we get rid of the Satan in the White House, the hornet nest in the White House, and the poisonous hornet nest in Tel Aviv. And so we will liberate our dear Palestine and restore its territory to its owners, and liberate Lebanon and Golan Heights. And the Arab person will be liberated as long as there are such rulers. Oh God, pray to you to give success to the patient, steadfast Iraqis. God is great, God is great, God is great. How beautiful triumph is with the guidance of God, and the traitors will be punished.
You're watching what is obviously a taped broadcast that was just being aired on Iraqi television. We were bringing you their signal live. So Iraqi President Saddam Hussein still saying that his forces in Iraq will succeed and be victorious in this current battle.